Brian Calfano, a political science and journalism professor from the University of Cincinnati, joins me now to break down the State of the Union address. Now, Brian, the president's message was very heavy on bipartisanship, but he also decried partisan investigations that even his Republican allies have supported. Let's take a listen.
An economic miracle is taking place in the United States, and the only thing that can stop it are foolish wars, politics, or ridiculous partisan investigations.
So what are the actual areas for potential agreements between the Democrats and President Trump?
Well, there are three, and the president actually outlined them last night. First and foremost, I'd say, is infrastructure. President Trump came into office, and a lot of people thought he was going to propose this trillion-dollar infrastructure project almost immediately. Instead, we got the Muslim ban and all kinds of other things that essentially made his presidency seem to stumble. And now we're more than 2 years into the administration, and the president's still talking about infrastructure. He needs to get serious with putting a proposal out there that Democrats will latch on to, because no representative or senator is going to turn down money going to their state or to their district. And when you look at the crumbling infrastructure around the country, around Ohio, other parts of the Midwest, there is certainly a need for it. And it's a way for the president and the Democrats to find some kind of common ground. The other big issue is opioid addiction. Obviously something that Governor DeWine has talked a lot about during his campaign and wants to make a center point of his administration here in the Buckeye State, but also something that the president has already declared a national emergency.
Yes.
So this is something that the Democrats are more than happy to, I think, sign on to. And the third would be prescription drug costs. Even though the two parties are going to be a bit far apart in terms of the mechanism to bring costs down, there is such an outcry among so many Americans about their inability to afford prescription drugs that it would be a low-hanging fruit politically for the president and Democrats to work together on those issues.
Absolutely. Now, another big message from President Trump announcing last night is a new summit that is scheduled with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un later this month, also making this bold claim.
If I had not been elected President of the United States, we would right now, in my opinion, be in a major war with North Korea.
Very bold claim indeed. Now, Brian, what must the president do to be able to keep momentum going in those negotiations?
Ronald Reagan, when he was president, had a famous saying that he actually pulled from the Russians, which was trust but verify. We had a lot of trust established, at least allegedly, between President Trump and Kim Jong-un during their first summit in Singapore. Now it's time for the verification. It's time for the president to be able to say, look, we need some type of demonstrated progress in some kind of denuclearization. A lot of the president's critics are saying that he essentially got played by Kim Jong-un because there has not been evidence of a denuclearization going on the Korean Peninsula, at least in the north. And in fact, some third-party observers say, actually, there's still work going on those nuclear missile sites, even though there hasn't been tests done. So the president has a lot of work cut out for him in terms of proving to Americans and the rest of the world there's actually progress on this front. He needs some tangible or some kind of show-me type of outcome to be able to say, look, this is what we've done to move this ball ahead and down the field. If he doesn't have that, I don't think he's going to get a third summit with Un.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see what comes from that summit afterwards.